about to expose the dirty tactics that Forex brokers use to manipulate prices and drain your trading account. Have you ever wondered why your trades just don't seem to go the way that you've planned, even when you've done everything right? What if I told you that the playing field may not be as level as it seems? In this video, we're revealing the dirty secrets that Forex B-Book brokers use and the virtual dealer plugins that they use to subtly manipulate price. But more importantly, I'm going to share with you what you can actually do about it. Look, if you're a Forex trader, you simply cannot afford to sit in the dark any longer. This video could be the key to completely transforming your trading career. Now, I'm warning you, what I'm about to show you in this video may actually make you throw up on your keyboard, but this is the reality. So let's get into this and let's break this down. So first things first is you have to understand that there's two different types of brokers, okay? There's what's called an A-book broker and what's called a B-book broker. Now, A-book brokers are also referred to as ECN brokers, which stands for Electronic Communication Network, or they're also referred to as STP brokers, which stands for Straight Through Processing. The way that these A-book brokers work is a little bit more transparent than the B-book brokers. The way that an A-book broker works is when you send an order, they actually send your order to the interbank. And what the interbank is it's simply basically this marketplace where the world's largest banks trade currencies. Now, the only way that these A-book brokers actually make money is they make money through commissions and they make money through spreads and not through any other mechanism. So ultimately, the A-book broker doesn't really care if you're making money or you're losing money. They are simply just acting as an intermediary, sending your order to the market, and they're making their money off the commissions and the spreads. Now, on the other hand, there's something called a B-book broker. And essentially what a B-book broker is it's a market maker, basically meaning that all they're doing, instead of actually sending your order to the market, they're just taking the opposite trade as you. So for example, if you take a buy trade, then they're going to take the opposite side in a sell. Now, the problem here is that there's some conflict of interest, as you can imagine, because if you, the trader, ends up making money, then the B-book broker actually ends up losing money. It also works vice versa, where if you lose money, then the B-book broker actually makes money. So their incentives are actually to manipulate you to end up losing money. Now, these B-book brokers have sophisticated algorithms and quant guys that help categorize these traders into either A-book or B-book. Obviously, if somebody is a profitable trader and they have sophisticated ways of analyzing trades and risk, etc., to know if a trader is going to be profitable or not, if they're a profitable trader, then obviously they do not want to be B-booking them, because that means that the B-book broker will be losing money. So they categorize traders into A-book and B-book brokers, and some brokers have the ability to do both A-book and B-book. You'll notice sometimes that they'll start a trader on a B-book feed, and if they see that this trader is consistently profitable or likely to continue to be profitable, then what they'll do is they'll switch them from the B-book feed over to the A-book feed. So that way they're still making money on the commissions and the spreads, but they're no longer taking the opposite side of the trader. Since the trader's profitable, ultimately the B-book broker is unprofitable if they have them on their B feed. Now, you may be thinking this is a risky business to be a broker, especially if you're doing B-book, because what if you get a bunch of profitable traders incoming? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the playing field isn't as level as it seems. So these B-book brokers can do some pretty shady things, which I'm about to show you firsthand as we dive into what's called a virtual dealer plugin, which is basically a software that they can attach to MetaTrader 4. Now, with that being said, brokers that are regulated, I believe there's a law that passed in 2011 from the CFTC. So brokers that are actually regulated inside the United States can no longer use virtual dealer plugins. However, the vast majority of Forex brokers are actually international. And so unfortunately, these same laws don't apply. So a lot of these unregulated overseas brokers can actually still use a virtual dealer plugin. So a virtual dealer plugin is basically a software that they can use to manipulate your trades to help you or encourage you to lose, which ultimately makes them money. So the first thing I'm going to show you here, this is actually a tutorial video about how to use a virtual dealer plugin, which is downright disgusting. But just that being said, so what I'm going to show you first things first is how they can actually create manual slippage. So here you go ahead, you open an order, and then he created a little bit of slippage. And there you go. So this is just an example of how a virtual dealer plugin can work to actually create some slippage, which is ultimately not helpful for you. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, check this out. So another thing that they can actually do is do something called an order rejection, which is basically you go and you try to place an order and ultimately they reject your order. So let's take a look. So there you go. So you went to place an order. They simply decided to reject your order and it says off quotes. Or they could go ahead and they could actually confirm the order just like that. So pretty crazy, just with a click of a button, they can decide whether your order actually gets sent or not. So this next thing is kind of a mystery or conspiracy. Do brokers actually do this thing called stop hunting, where they actually eye or look for where your stop loss is and then just cause a spike up to go and actually tick your stop loss? Is this actually true or is this not true? Here's the sad reality. Take a look. Okay, so we're adding a stop loss. Okay, so there's the stop loss. You can see it there in red. And then let's hunt it. So here's the plugin software, virtual dealer. So the broker can actually see where the stop loss is for their client. And then boom, just as easy as that, they can magically make price go up there, hunting your stop loss, causing you to lose money, which ultimately causes them to make money. I know it's pretty disgusting. So one thing that is definitely recommended to do if you're using a B-Book broker or one that you are suspicious that might be using something like a virtual dealer plugin is to never use a actual stop loss or take profit, because ultimately they can see where your take profit line is too, and they can cause price to come right below it or right above it so it doesn't actually hit your take profit line, just like you saw how they manipulated the price to actually go in there and actually hit your stop loss. And that's why with our trading software, TitanX, most of our strategies, we don't actually put in a stop loss or a take profit because we know that this sort of shady stuff happens. So we don't give the broker the opportunity to do this. We'll use something like a floating basket where we'll wait till the total account gets to a certain profit amount or it gets to a certain stop loss amount, and then it'll actually automatically kick us out without actually having to go in and put in a stop loss or take profit. So the next thing that you can do with a virtual dealer plugin is just completely modify prices and change prices. So take a look. Okay. Client put in a sell and set a stop loss. And then here comes the virtual dealer plugin. And they can basically just modify it. Said, oh, you wanted to enter the trade here? Nope. So you thought you entered the trade at one price, and then they can just go in and say, no, you actually entered at a different price. And just like that, you can also change the stop loss or take profit. So you said, oh, I've actually put a take profit or stop loss right there. No, you actually put it here. Now, one other thing that they can do is they can re-quote you, or they can just add a delay to any of your trades. So say you're trying to enter a trade and you think you execute the trade immediately. Well, they can actually decide how long they want to make you wait before you enter the trade. So take a look at this. There's the virtual dealer. So no longer do you get in the market when you want to, you get in 5 seconds later. So there's 5 seconds execution delay on every trade. Yeah, pretty nasty. And then the last thing you can do is you can just change the candles. Magically, you could just change the candles. Wouldn't that be nice if you could just change the candles, right? Well, you actually can. So there you can change open, high, low, close. It says it's great to fix the mess after stop hunting. And they can basically change any candle that they want to. And there you go. Candle went from looking like, let's see, like that to that magically. So ultimately, as nasty as this actually seems, what can you actually do about it? And the reality is, unfortunately, this happens in the Forex market, yet you can still become a profitable trader. What can you do about this? Number one, obviously you can decide to use an ECN or an STP broker. That's number one. Or you can decide to use a regulated broker, which obviously comes with its downsides as well, with like less leverage and stuff like this. Or if you are going to go ahead and use a B-Book broker, then you definitely would want to consider not actually using a physical stop loss or take profit, because as you saw, it was really easy for these brokers to use a virtual dealer plugin to hunt your stop loss or your take profit. So it's true, while this nasty stuff happens in B-Book brokers with the virtual dealer plugin, it doesn't mean that you can't become a profitable trader. Of course, there's tons and tons of stories of people that are still successful traders despite what you see happening here. The answer is really just to simply to continue to get better, to use this information, to learn from it. So with all this being said, candidly, when you see this, it may make you sick to your stomach that, the playing field is not that level, that you have guys working directly against you that have the opposite interest that you do, that actually want you to lose. And even with all that being said, it's still possible to become a profitable Forex trader. You need to take this information, you need to learn from it, you need to adjust based on the stuff that you've learned, and ultimately you just need to become better and to find a better edge. And if you need help finding an edge, then go over to propfarming.com. This is our community of over 600 funded prop traders that we've helped become funded. If you need help finding your edge, then go on over to blueedgefinancial.com. We created our company to help traders that are struggling actually find their edge. We created something called Prop Farming, where we've now helped over 600 people become professional funded prop traders thanks to our Titan X algorithm. And look, if you never decide to become a customer of ours, I hope that this video was helpful, was insightful. And if it was, I'd be curious to get your reaction down in the comments below. Is this stuff that you already knew about, or is this brand new to you? And ultimately, what do you think about it? And what are you going to do about it, more importantly?